We are talking to Jennifer Marshall, the host of Mysteries Decoded, to talk about their newest season right here on the CW.
Absolutely 100% not comfortable right there doing that.
No, I don't know what's happening there, but I'm not, it's not a bad vibe, but it's like it's an insistent vibe. It's an insistent vibe. There's something going on, and I don't know what it is, and I'm not saying it's a ghost, it could be energy, I don't know what it is, but there's something there that we're not here anymore. I'm not there.
Oh, you know there is always something fun and juicy airing right here on CW, and today we're extra pumped about our guest, Jennifer Marshall, who is a U.S. Navy veteran turned private investigator. She's also a TV host of CW's Mysteries Decoded, which is in season 2. So good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Jenny.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I am so curious about your career path here. I alluded to it a little bit, but how did you end up doing this show and becoming a private investigator?
So I served in the United States Navy for 5 years. You learn attention to detail, obviously, in the military. And then when I got out, I kind of wasn't sure as to what to do. Got into law enforcement, went through the academy, had an injury toward the end of the academy, and that was it. So at that point I said, well, I still want to be a detective. How can I do this? Went to PI school, finished my hours, opened up my own company, and here we are.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay, so you guys know, if you watched the first season, there were some major mysteries that were investigated. The Lizzie Borden murders, Area 51, Salem witch trials. What about season 2? What can we expect?
Season 2 is bonkers, to put it lightly. We started filming right before the pandemic, so we've been working on this season for about 2.5 years. We went to the Conjuring House in Rhode Island, which was our premiere episode. And then the episode airing tomorrow is Alien Mountain, where we look into a supposed base that is inside Archuleta Mesa in New Mexico.
Well, what is it about New Mexico? Like, what is going on with you, New Mexico? It seems like there's always something there.
That's a mystery to decode. It's always New Mexico. We've shot a lot in New Mexico.
I just went for the first time, and I remember going there thinking, I'm gonna uncover a mystery just because I'm here once. What are some of the most shocking or surprising things that you have investigated or uncovered for the show?
I would say that going into each investigation, I'm pretty much a blank slate. I don't get ruffled easily. But season 1, when we investigated the Lizzie Borden murders, some things happened in that house that were inexplicable. Then when we went to the Conjuring House in season 2, that absolutely is the episode where I become the most kind of unglued, I guess you would say, because normally I'm very, very pragmatic. But what happened in the Conjuring House, I just could not explain it, and it was things that happened to the entire crew, not to mention myself, that as much as I wanted to explain them, I couldn't.
Oh no. So where do you go from there? When it's inexplicable, where do you go?
You know, I honestly spend, and this happened with Lizzie Borden as well, I spend weeks, if not months, pondering it, coming up with different ideas, talking to other investigators. Could it have been this? Could it have been that? Obviously, when something happens, like at the Conjuring House, there was one book, Moral Relativity, that kept flying out of the bookshelf onto the floor, and the cameras were picking this up. So of course we looked at the bookshelf, tried to see what was happening. There was nothing there. Tried to see if there was a booby trap of some sort. Nothing. So I keep going over my head, even now to this day, 2 years later, what could have caused that? Why? And why that book?
Right. Do you ever have it happen where there's something that you're sensing or experiencing yourself, but the cameras can't quite pick it up?
I would say...
Do you know what I'm talking about, that feeling?
Yes, but I think not in the way you asked it. Generally, when I'm feeling that, it's that somebody that we're interviewing is trying to gain fame or fortune. And so we're rolling, and I'm thinking, this is not going to make the cut because this person obviously has an ulterior motive. But I'm very in tune to that. When, you know, people who work in entertainment, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but if you're a director of photography, you're not really focused on that, you're focused on the shot. I'm definitely focused on reading people.
It's like, they're like, I'm the cousin of the second cousin of the other guy, but let me do this interview to tell you. Oh, that is fascinating. Oh my gosh, well, best of luck on this season. I know people just love these types of stories, and I so appreciate you coming in to talk about it.
Thank you. It's been a blast on social media. We have the best fans.
Oh, that's awesome, Jennifer. So here's the thing, you guys. Mysteries Decoded airs on Wednesdays at 7. We will put all the show info on our website, CW33.com.